everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs. I've got a cute little treat box to show you today. It features the Let's Set Sail bundle. I'm actually using a sentiment from a different stamp set. So it doesn't, in fact, use this stamp. It uses the coordinating punch. And then I'm using the You're Amazing stamp from Your Biggest Fan. When you buy the bundle, you save 10%. So I always recommend getting the bundle. And I have two other projects on my blog post with this one that do in fact use the stamps. All right, so let me show you what's inside. This is a treat that I had never seen before. It's new to me. It's a Rip Van wafer, chocolate hazelnut. I'm always looking for new treats, things that are different and interesting. And these were suggested to me on Amazon, and it caught my eye because it said it was low in carbs. So if you're doing the keto diet or low carb diet, this is a really good snack, only 4 carbs. But even if you're not, it's still a fun little snack. And so I designed this little box to hold these. All right, let's make the box first. This is a pretty easy box. It, you know, I've made these kinds of boxes many times, but this one is made exactly for that little treat. Now, you could put other things in it if you wanted, but just know that it was designed for those measurements. All right, I'm using Misty Moonlight, which is retiring. We're gonna miss this color. Make sure you've got all your Misty Moonlight things before May 2nd. All right, 7 3/8 by 5. Now these measurements are going to be on a free PDF over my blog. Hop over there, grab it, save it. That way you don't have to scribble them down. All right, 5/8 and 4 3/8 on the short side. Now on the long side, we're going to do 5/8, 3 3/8, 4, and then 6 and, I gotta move my marker, 6 3/4, I believe. Let me make sure. Yep, 6 3/4. All right, now grab your bone folder. You wanna use your bone folder so that your little edges are nice and crisp. I've got a little bit of ink on my thumb I'm seeing now. I've been using red and Poppy Parade a lot today. Boy, those really like to get on your skin. Okay, now it doesn't matter which end you decide to do this to, because it's exactly the same on either side. So just pick one end, and we're gonna start in the middle and trim off the corners of those tabs. Okay, now over here, you're going to trim that tab as well. We're actually going to do the same thing to all the tabs, but in a minute, we're going to make one side the bottom, one side the top. Again, they're exactly the same, so it doesn't matter which side you decide to make the top and which side you decide to make the bottom. All right, so trim off those. You want to get those nice and straight. If you ever are cutting on, you know, if you accidentally cut on the inside or the outside of the score line, that will prevent your box from going together really well. So I have just found, because I'm always in a hurry doing things fast, that if I just cut those corners off, it won't matter if I have, cut within the score line. All right, let's get all those stragglers off. Now I'm going to use Tombow. You can use tear and tape, Stamp and Seal Plus, whichever you prefer. We're gonna make the bottom over here on the right side. I'm gonna put a little bit of Tombow on each of these little flaps, and I'm doing it on the outside of the little flaps, okay? So fold that up, and you're gonna press it into the side. Now, I have these lovely little clothespins that are from the dollar store or Walmart that I use to kind of hold it in place. The glue needs just, a couple minutes to dry. And that way I don't have to stand here and hold it until it's dry. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing on the lid. Put a little bit of glue, not too much. A little goes a long way. When I taught kindergarten, we used to say a dot is a lot, because those kindergartners were very heavy-handed with the glue, just like me. All right, now again, I'm pushing that little tab into the side like that, and taking that clothespin and holding it closed. Now I'm just going to set that aside for right now while we make all the rest of the things, and it'll be dry by the time we are done. All right, I have a piece of Poppy Parade that is just a little bit smaller than the top of the box. And then I'm using the Heart and Home Designer Series paper. Any of the pieces in that pack that have the wood grain will work. I love that wood grain. It's really cool. All right, now I'm going to take that punch and we're going to punch all the pieces out of white. Now, if you're stamping, if you want to stamp the sailboat, you absolutely can. I have 2 other videos where I show you how to line up your stamps on your block so that you don't waste paper when you punch. So make sure to check those out. This is the Tulip Fields Designer Series paper. I have punched it out with a 2 1/4 inch circle die. And then I also cut out the scalloped circle from Poppy Parade as well. Now I'm going to take my mini dimensionals. Let's see, do I have mini dimensionals over here? I do. Now I'm going to put this on with mini dimensionals because it's so narrow. Okay, just like that. And we're going to put that right there. All right, and now I'm going to get one of my sails and put that right there. You want it to touch the bottom and the top like that. And then we'll do the other one. I actually did my sailboat backwards from the sample, but either way will work. Since we didn't stamp it, you can use either side of that cardstock. All right, now we're going to cut out a heart. We have this amazing paper right now, Waves of the Ocean, and I thought this paper would be perfect. I'm going to use this little heart right here from the Give It a Whirl dies, and we're going to cut that out. But before we do that, we're going to stamp and emboss the sentiment. Now, I mentioned that the sentiment was from the Your Biggest Fan stamp set. Just because I wanted a small sentiment, I chose this one. You could choose thank you, happy birthday. You know, you could even leave the sentiment off if you wanted. Now I'm going to stamp. I stamped it in Versamark, and I'm going to sprinkle it with silver embossing powder. Now it's kind of hard in the photo to tell that it's silver. It was hard. It's very hard to catch metallic in a photograph, but it is shiny. All right, now let's bring over the heat tool, and I want to make sure that I got all of those little extra bits off, because if you heat the little crystals or the little, you know, just the little specks of embossing powder, it will turn shiny. It looks like I do have a couple outside of my words, but that's okay because we're going to cut it down and you won't see it. You can keep a paintbrush, maybe a toothbrush would work too. You can keep a paintbrush with your embossing things and kind of use it to brush off any of those extra little crumbs or whatever they're called of, you know, the embossing powder. All right, now I'm going to take a little bit of my, this is just Post-it tape. And I'm going to take this die. This is from the Potted Succulent dies. I'm going to line it up so that it's on the right side of the die. I'm going to put that tape on there to hold it in place because my plates are bent a little bit and it's hard to keep things on there straight. Let's see, we'll just peel that out right there. You're amazing. And now we'll cut out a little bit of that ocean water paper as well. Now, this mini cut and emboss machine is on sale during the month of March 2022. If you don't have it, I recommend it. It is really easy to turn and it's adorable, of course. And it's just really fun. It's really fun. We also have some other dies that that are on sale to go with that machine as well, that fit in the machine. A lot of our dies, I would say most of our dies fit in that machine. When you look in the catalog, you can see there's a little sticker next to the die set that says mini, and that means it'll fit in the mini. Okay, so now we've put that heart on there. Before we put the rest of it, I want to show you something that I did right here. I made a sailor's knot. Now, I am not a professional knot maker in the least, but all you have to do is Google it. And I found this. It's actually from Martha Stewart, good old Martha Stewart. And I just followed the pictures to make my knot. Now I wanted it to be a little bit thicker. So I'm going to take my twine, maybe do, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 strips of it. And let's trim those ends, and we're going to lay it down like this. And then we're just going to follow the directions. So it says to make a little loop, and then your loop goes up, and then it goes under and into that loop. Okay, so pull it under and then up. I will link you to this or share a photo of it so that you can see it. The only tricky thing here is that your pieces sometimes separate, and then you get confused and you're like, where does this one go? But these are really good directions. It's a really good photo showing you how to do them. If I can do it, you can do it. So then now look at that, and you just pull it. That one's actually better than the first one, like that, okay? Now I'm gonna take this piece, and I'm gonna take a little glue dot. Let's see, let me get my take your pick tool. It's right here. And I'm going to get a little glue dot. And I'm going to put that glue dot right there. That's where I want my knot to go. So I'm going to stick that down onto that. And then grab just some Scotch tape. And we're going to wrap that around like that. If you have thicker twine, I think maybe you could use just one piece. You wouldn't necessarily need to use 2 pieces. I noticed she used 2 pieces in the photograph as well. But play around with what you have, see how it works. And there's all kinds of knots out there that you can make for your cards. This is a sailor's knot, so of course it goes with our sailboat. Okay, now we're ready to put all of this together. I'm going to grab those dimensionals. And we'll just put this, we're going to kind of sandwich that twine right there. We don't want to cover up our sailor's knot. And then we will get this one. And I'm just going to put this flat because remember, we're not going to show that end, so it can just tuck under there like that. Let's see, I feel like that needs to go over just a little bit. And maybe a little bit up. No, let's see, maybe it was okay. There we go. It's not a card, so it doesn't have to stay within the edges. Doesn't have to fit in an envelope. All right, we're almost done. Let's take off all of our little clothespins, get our little treat. And it closes just kind of like a clamshell right over. Actually, I did it differently in the other one. I tucked it in, so you can do it either way you want. We'll leave this one. If you're going to tuck it in, you don't even have to glue these together. You just cut off those corners and you have flaps. But this one, I did a clamshell. So fold over like that, kind of like a cream cheese box when you buy cream cheese from the grocery store. All right, now we're just going to put some adhesive on the back of this. Whoa, there we go. And put it down right there. And got a little bit of twine poking out. There you have it. A really fun, kind of out of the ordinary treat. I hope you guys like this treat box. I love the colors, I love the nautical theme, and I liked the special treat that I had never seen before. I'll link you to the treat on Amazon, and make sure you click the link here down here on YouTube. Go back to my blog, find the other 2 projects as well as that free PDF. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.